Imagine having everything: fame, fortune, and universal recognition. Now, imagine all of that fading into nothing as you be consumed by a deep, existential void that forces you to question everything you've ever believed in. This was the life of the legendary philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, known for his profound writings like Thus Spoke Zarathustra and Beyond Good and Evil, achieved worldwide acclaim, yet found himself spiraling into a crisis that would change the course of his life. Despite his success, he was haunted by one question: what is the true meaning of life? In this video, we will dive deep into Nietzsche's personal struggle with the meaning of existence, the profound conclusions he reached, and how his journey can inspire us to live more purposefully today. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. This topic will have you reflecting on your own life in ways you never expected. Friedrich Nietzsche was born in 1844 in a small town in Germany into a religiously devout family. From a young age, Nietzsche displayed immense intellectual brilliance. He excelled at philosophy, languages, and theology, and was quickly recognized as a rising star in academic circles. Beneath this intellectual prowess lay a growing sense of emptiness. While many admired him for his groundbreaking ideas, Nietzsche was struggling internally. He had achieved what many could only dream of: a prestigious career, fame, and recognition. But as his fame grew, so did his isolation. His works like The Birth of Tragedy and Human, All Too Human, made him an intellectual icon. Yet none of these accolades could fill the deep sense of meaninglessness he began to feel. As Nietzsche's thoughts deepened, he came to a troubling realization: nothing lasts forever. Fame, wealth, and achievement, they all fade. The fact that everything he worked for could be reduced to dust over time terrified him. He began to question the very nature of existence. What is the point of it all? He found himself consumed by the idea that life was merely a fleeting event with no lasting significance. And so he asked, why do we strive, suffer, love, or live if everything ends in death? This spiral into doubt and despair led Nietzsche to a place of deep intellectual and emotional struggle. He felt that no logical answers were forthcoming. Science, philosophy, and even art failed to satisfy the existential void that loomed over him. Everything seemed so transient, so ultimately meaningless. Nietzsche, in his search for meaning, turned to the very disciplines that he had once revered. He examined the realms of science, philosophy, and art with relentless intensity. He pored over scientific discoveries, trying to find comfort in the idea that our existence had some deeper, rational basis, but instead of offering him clarity, science only amplified his sense of despair. While science could explain the how of life, it didn't provide the why. It explained how the universe functioned, how life evolved, and how our bodies work, but it didn't offer any insight into why we exist in the first place. Nietzsche, seeing the limits of reason, then turned to philosophy. He explored the works of ancient Greek philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, as well as modern philosophers like Immanuel Kant and Arthur Schopenhauer. However, despite the vast array of ideas, no answer seemed satisfactory. Some philosophers claimed life had a purpose, while others argued there was none. The more Nietzsche read, the more lost he became in a sea of conflicting thoughts. The search for meaning seemed to have no end. He came to realize that the more he sought logical, theoretical answers, the further he drifted from the peace he so desperately sought. Disillusioned with philosophy and reason, Nietzsche began to explore religion. Raised in a Christian family, he knew the teachings of Jesus Christ well, but had always dismissed religion as a mere tradition. However, in the face of his existential crisis, Nietzsche wondered, could faith provide the answers he needed? He turned his attention to the Bible, reading it with a new perspective. What struck him most were the teachings of love, compassion, and the rejection of materialism. Here, for the first time, Nietzsche saw a possibility for peace, a life grounded not in intellect or achievement, but in simple acts of love, in manmaka, selflessness. But even as he considered the potential for meaning in religion, Nietzsche remained skeptical. He knew that mere belief was not enough. He needed to experience it. If religion was to offer him answers, it would have to be through living it, not just contemplating it. After months of internal struggle, Nietzsche realized that he couldn't continue living his life in the same way. His old beliefs had failed him, and he knew that if he wanted to find peace, he would have to let go of everything that once defined him. He made a radical decision. He would abandon his previous philosophy and devote himself to the pursuit of something greater. This decision was not easy. It meant stepping away from the world he knew, his academic career, his fame, and his position in society. But Nietzsche understood that if he was to find true meaning in life, he could no longer search in books or intellectual arguments. He needed to live the answers. He began to focus less on his own success and more on the well-being of others, devoting himself to serving people and embracing humility. Through this deep personal transformation, Nietzsche finally discovered the truth that had eluded him for so long. The meaning of life is not something to be found, but something to be created. Life's meaning, Nietzsche realized, could not be found in external achievements or intellectual pursuits. It was found in the way we treat others, in our capacity for love, and in our willingness to serve. In this realization, Nietzsche found his peace by living a life of compassion, rejecting materialism, and focusing on the well-being of others. Nietzsche experienced the profound meaning he had long sought. He recognized that life could not be understood merely through logic or reason. It required an openness to love and an embrace of the deepest spiritual truths that lie beyond the material world. Nietzsche's life and philosophy offer valuable lessons for us all. One of the key lessons is that external success does not equate to inner happiness. Despite his fame, fortune, and recognition, Nietzsche struggled deeply with a sense of meaning. This reminds us that material achievements, while valuable, do not provide lasting peace. Another important lesson is the understanding that seeking meaning only through reason can lead us down an empty path. While philosophy and science offer insights into the how of existence, they do not provide answers to the why. True meaning comes from embracing a deeper connection to life beyond intellectual pursuits. Nietzsche also teaches us that life's meaning is not something we find, but something we create every day. Through our actions, our love, and our commitment to others, we can build meaning in our lives. It's a journey that requires us to continually reflect, grow, and act. Finally, Nietzsche's story encourages us to live authentically and simply in a world that often prioritizes wealth and status. Nietzsche's rejection of these values reminds us that true peace lies in simplicity, humility, and living for others. Friedrich Nietzsche's journey was one of profound personal transformation. His search for the meaning of life was not an intellectual exercise, but a deeply personal journey that reshaped his life and his writings. By embracing love, simplicity, and service, Nietzsche found the peace he had so desperately sought. His story challenges us to question our own assumptions about meaning and purpose. Are we searching for happiness in the right places? Are we truly living the life we want to live? Nietzsche's philosophy encourages us to step away from the noise of the world, reflect on what truly matters, and create a life grounded in love and service to others. Now, I want to hear from you. What did Nietzsche's journey teach you? How do you find meaning in your own life? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. If this video made you reflect, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more philosophical insights. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. See you in the next video.